If you own a John Deere compact tractor, you've probably noticed one annoying thing about the bucket. There's not really a great way to hook up a chain or a strap. Today, I'm fixing that design flaw by adding some aftermarket brackets from Amazon that cost less than a tank of gas. This mod only takes 20 minutes to do, and it will triple the utility of your bucket. Plus, I'll show you how to nail the install and what most people do wrong so that you don't screw it up. So I bought two products for this install, and the first is this center bracket that features a 2-inch receiver in the middle and a D-ring and grab hook on each side. Pretty thick and heavy duty plate steel makes up the base, and I think that will work well to reinforce the center of the bucket because, as many guys will tell you, it's definitely possible to bend your bucket in the middle, and any heavy duty lifting or pulling should be done off to the sides. I just want to move the occasional trailer around, so it really shouldn't be a problem for light duty work. I'm also installing a set of D-ring grab hook combos on each side of the bucket. Those look pretty good too. Thick, heavy duty metal, same as the center bracket. One of the grab hooks is definitely not very square and was welded into place pretty crooked. You can see that with the speed square next to it. It's not a huge deal to me, and this is Amazon, so there you go. Aside from that, welds actually look pretty good and are probably way better than I could do for sure. One of the plates has a bit of a knurled edge or a rough lip to it. Again, Amazon, so whatever. Color is a big factor with these aftermarket hooks, and part of the problem is that John Deere has used a few different greens over the years, but the bigger part of the problem is that it's Amazon. You can see that the color is off a bit, and between the center bracket, the outer brackets, and the John Deere bucket, we've got 3 separate greens happening. When I was looking at buying these and reading reviews, I found one set that was basically like neon Arctic cat green, and the pictures people posted were like super funny because they were like a mile off. I'm not saying that these match perfectly because they obviously do not, but they're close enough for me, and you kind of get what you pay for. Again, Amazon. Onto the install, and first I'm moving the tractor into a better working area so that you can actually see what I'm doing, and of course it's raining today, so I have to stay tucked into the barn just a little bit here. Quick materials list of everything you'll need in case you want to attempt this yourself. Tape measure, or you could just eyeball it, I guess. Some sort of marking device, I'm using a Sharpie. Drill and drill bits of varying sizes. I'll link a really good, really cheap set of bits that I got from Amazon that not only has a bunch of different sizes, but they have multiples of each size, because the thing about drill bits is they break. Sockets and a ratchet or impact, metric, freedom units, it doesn't matter, whatever you got. Glass cleaner and paper towels because I tend to make a mess. Teeny tiny leaf blower for clearing metal chips. If you have an air compressor or an air blower, that works great. Just don't use your hands to sweep away metal chips. Those things are sharp. Subscribe to the channel for more obvious safety tips. You'll want some sort of lubricant for drilling the holes too. This can be almost anything from WD-40. I've got some factory OEM John Deere hydraulic fluid, old used oil that you're saving for absolutely no reason. If you have that, that'll work. Fun fact about me, not only do I have used oil on hand, but I actually moved somewhat recently, and my used oil made it from the old house to the new house. It's kind of surprising the things that you'll hang on to during a move, and for me, the worst offender was this old treadmill that my wife got from her grandma. I've actually moved this thing twice now to 2 different houses, and she's used it 0 times. Pretty cool. Oh, and some vice grips or some type of clamp is helpful too. I realized that after I filmed the materials clip, so yeah. Okay, onto the install, and the first thing I'm doing is wiping down the area to at least start with a clean work surface, and I'm finding the center of my bucket by measuring across, and I've got 53.5 inches, so I'll ask ChatGPT what half of that is, and then I'll make a mark on the bucket. Yeah, I actually stopped doing math at the end of 2024, and I gotta say, I don't miss it. 26 3/4 and a little mark right there. Next, I'll find the center of the bracket and mark that too. Now all I have to do is line up the 2 marks, and just like that, perfectly centered bracket alignment, and I'm clamping that into place so that it doesn't move during the next part. Now, a lot of guys will grab the marker and carefully mark out the whole location just like this, drawing all the way around the circle, nice and neat, and then it looks something like this when you pull the bracket off. Then they'll take a center punch, then drill out the holes. For the outer brackets with 2 holes, you might get away with it, but for the center bracket with 6 holes, what'll happen is that you'll miss dead center with the center punch, or the drill is gonna walk a little bit on one hole, and you'll go to put the plate on and realize that your holes don't line up. Then you'll have to auger out or enlarge 1 or more holes, or oval it out with a carbide bit or something like that. So here's a better way to do it that works perfectly every single time. Basically idiot proof, and that's good for guys like me. With the bracket still clamped in place, first I take a bit that is exactly the size of the existing hole, and I'll drill for just a little bit to make a small dimple in the base metal. You can see it right there. So that's my center punch, so to speak, and it's perfect because I used the bracket to align the drill so that it couldn't drift or get off track. Next, I'll drill a pilot hole with a small bit, 1/8 inch, something like that. Now I'm getting my lubrication ready, and I'm just using an old cap to pour a bit of oil into, and I'll just dip my bit occasionally, and that's gonna help cut through the metal a little bit better. Dip and lubricate frequently, and things will go a lot faster overall. And of course, I managed to kick over my lubrication cap and spill it everywhere. That's a very me thing to do. Hey, how many more times during this project do you think I did that? I'll give you a hint. It's not 0. If you've never drilled through metal before, I prefer low and slow, meaning a low gear and low speed with firm downward pressure, especially on the larger holes. Big chips are good. That means that you're cutting really well and the bit is sharp. A little smoke, depending on the lube fluid, is fine. Excessive smoke and a screaming loud drill bit is generally less desirable. And if you have smoke rolling out of your drill, might be time for a new drill. I'm stepping up my bit, so I started with a small pilot hole, then I think I bumped up to like a 1/4 inch or something close to that. Then I finished with the big bit, and that is the exact size of the existing hole in the bracket. And just like that, I have one perfectly aligned hole. Pretty cool. Next, I'm gonna take the first set of hardware and actually start bolting the bracket into place. I'll do one hole at a time for the first 2, just until I'm confident that the bracket isn't gonna shift on me. Then I'll switch to doing 2 at a time until all 6 are done. It's a little more tedious with bit switches, but doing it this way guarantees perfect, repeatable alignment every single time. The outer brackets went much the same way. I placed those to be aligned with the factory bucket mounts because that's probably the strongest part of the bucket. So if I need to do any heavy pulling, it's probably gonna be from there. So here they are, all finished up and ready to be put into service. This is a fun and easy mod to do, and it really increases the utility of your bucket and just gives you more options and more ways to use the tractor that you already own. Links for everything I used in this project will be found in the video description if you want to try this yourself. If you like this video, you can subscribe to the channel where I do cool projects like this all the time. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.